Mmm. Homemade buttermilk biscuits and sausage gravy. Turned out pretty good. Well, that worked out good. All those came out. Well, that went way too easy. Well, here we are again in the land of rusty old Fords and wormy ass dogs that won't settle down. Go over and lay down. Leave me alone for a minute. I'm trying to work. Man, silly dog. All right, we're back out here this morning working on Fred, picking my nose, and got a few things done this morning. Bunch of dirty work you guys probably don't care to see. I've got pulleys cleaned up, painted, power steering bracket cleaned up, painted, motor mounts are on, and been digging around getting some little odd and end parts out of the barn. Found a fuel line I'm gonna make work. I do not have a fuel pump that's any good, and nobody in town has one, so we're gonna have to I've got one on order. It'll probably be here Wednesday. Anyway, got distributor cap base, found one of those. I've been doing a lot of cleaning. Got the fan cleaned up, painted, bunch of bolts wire wheeled. Now I'm going to work on the headers. I've got a few sets, and every one of them, I don't have a full set that does not have broken off studs. So, doing the old weld nut trick on there, they are actually threaded into this flange, so I'm going to have to take the torch, heat those up good, and see if I can get them to back out. If not, we're going to be in for a little bit more of a headache to try to clean that off, or drill them out, whatever. But that's what I'm going to work on next, is get those out. And once I get those mounted up, if I get them drilled out, get them mounted up on the motor, I believe the next thing to do is that transmission seal, and then we can stick this boy in there. I believe so. All right, let me try this trick out, and I might show you that. Hold on. All right, I got one of them out. First one came out pretty easy. We're gonna try the second one. You guys see this? Like butter. Like butter. Heat is your friend. Well, that worked out good. All those came out. Still got threads. I can't see anything right now because the light of the torch blinded me for a minute. Anyway, we got real lucky on that. Reason being that acetylene tank is pretty much empty. I tried turning up the heat a little bit to get a little faster action out of that heating job, and it wasn't getting any hotter. I'm like, uh-oh. But we got it done, so that's good. Let them cool off for a minute. I'm going to wire wheel the faces of them and try to clean them up just a little bit. And I want to run a tap down in those holes. That is a 7/16 coarse thread. I don't remember the thread pitch on a 7/16. whatever it is. Something, I don't know. Anyway, we'll clean them up, and that way we can get a bolt in there and find some bolts to mount the headers to the block. You don't have to have the typical header bolt. Like, I'm not digging around for one, but the ones that's got it's a 3/16 bolt and it has the little head, either a 7/16 or a 3/8 socket fits it. You don't have to have those for these. Factory comes with just a regular 9/16 headed 3/8 bolt with the washer on it, so it won't interfere with your spark plugs. Anyway, you can still get a wrench on them because they've got these factory Ford ones have a little indentation right there where you can still get a wrench on it. Now, if you buy an aftermarket one with a bigger tube in it, you'll have to get the typical header bolt with a smaller head on it. Anyway, let me get to cleaning on these. Cleaned up, tapped out. They're gonna be just fine. This header, it had a mud dauber nest down inside there. Luckily, I looked down in there real good. Seen that, took a screwdriver, busted it up. It's all down there on the floor now. Anyway, if you guys have ever seen these, it's a tap socket. A square on one end, and it's got a hole on the other end with an O-ring, and it holds your tap will go in there. Just like that. Boom, locks in. If you don't have any of those, I recommend getting some. They come in a little set like this, and you got all your different sizes. These are quarter inch drive and 3/8 drive, but that works out great. You can put it on a ratchet. I put mine on the impact a lot of times just to clean a hole out. A lot of times you can't get a T-handle in where you need to tap something out, and these are great instead of using a crescent wrench, and you know how that goes. Anyway, I'm gonna dig around and find some bolts, get these headers stuck on here, and I'll be back. Okay, we're back. Got a crazy dog, won't leave me alone. Got the headers installed, gaskets on there. Like I say, regular bolts will go right in there. That's handy because that's easier hardware to come by. Got a few other little doodads on here, and I've got I about forgot about it. The power steering pump was all crusty and nasty, and I had to clean that up, painted it, got it loosely installed, lines on. It's hanging there by the baling wire. If you put it on the front of the motor, you go pick it up with a hoist, it will it'll be front heavy, and we still may have to put a ratchet strap on there to get it level out so we can get everything stabbed down to the bell housing, torque converter. And by the way, I did take the torque converter out, put the new seal in it. That went well, and I figured I'd go ahead and get the alternator fitted on and figured out before I get it in the truck. Belt I got is too short. I'll have to get a longer one. It's a 37. I think we need a 39. We're gonna try. I've got a stack of belts. I probably got 30 belts over in the barn. They're old, but you use them for mock-up, and some of them you can use for spare. And it seems dark over here. Anyway, squirrel. But I do not have that length of belt over there because that's like one of the common ones. I've got everything way too long or way too short. So we'll have to get a belt. But when I stuck the alternator on, Chevrolet alternator, they use a 3/8 bolt to hold it in. Ford 7/16, like everything else. You have to drill that out, and I found a spacer, I had to drill it out too, with the extra little spacer in there, washer. But it was crooked. You look down the line here where it goes to the crank pulley, and the alternator was cockeyed, so I did the right thing. Took the die grinder with the carbide bit and widened this hole, elongated it, if you will, so I can move this bracket up when you move that bracket up, alternator was sitting like this, move the bracket up, it straightened it out. And I don't think I'm going to have to modify the swinging bracket, because we have quite a bit of adjustment, but if you get up here too far, it'll hit right there, but I don't think we'll be going that far. And I had to put a different bolt in the mounting plate here because the bearing housing on the alternator hit that bolt. It was a factory style bolt. The head is a little thicker, has that raised portion. We had to put a regular fastener in it. The positive lead is going to be just about right where it needs to be in our other connections here. So I'm going to go in and eat some lunch, and after that we're going to put the flywheel and the motor plate on the back, take it off the stand and get that put on, and we're ready to install this engine in old Fred. I think we got everything ready now, finally. But let me go get some food in my belly and we'll be back. Well, here we are, back from lunch. The flex plate is on, and right, not over there, over here. Flex plate is on, engine plate, gotta have that, can't forget that on a Ford. Flywheel bolts are Loctited and torqued. Always remember to do that. You gotta have a little bit of Loctite on there and torque them. You'll have issues. Ask me how I know. And like I said, it's a little heavy on the front side, so we had to put the ratchet strap to the water pump, get it leveled up. Got the torque converter studs kind of orientated to the flywheel, so when we get down there, we'll be pretty close. I left the spark plugs out because using a chain fall, a lot of times you forget and go to pull, and this chain will grab the end of the spark plug and break it right off. So we're going to leave them out for now. And then I'm going to try to get this dude stabbed in here. See how much issue we have. It shouldn't be too bad. I think I've got everything I need on there, on it. And something I thought was pretty cool I seen on this engine that you don't ever see. Somebody put petcocks both sides of the engine. Usually you just have a threaded plug there, and it has petcocks in it, so if you want to drain water out, flush the block, whatever. That's pretty neat. One on the driver and one on the passenger. All right, I'm gonna get to putting this in. Well, that went way too easy. Sorry, I had to look at the back side of the camera, make sure I was on the right mode. Like I say, that went way too easy. Torque converter line right up. I had to adjust the engine back a little bit. I had the transmission jacked up because anytime you're putting a Ford motor in, well, this style Ford motor mount, the mount goes to the engine, has a stud sticking out. You have to have it raised up high enough to get over the top of your pedestals to drop the stud down in the mount. So you got to raise everything up. Anyway, it went right in there. I was able to thread the top two bell housing bolts in, got down on the bottom, put two of the bottom ones in, sucked it up. Now we're going to lower the whole mess down. Hopefully it falls into place, and then we'll get the rest of the bell housing bolts in and all of them tightened, and get prepared for what's going to be wrong, because that went way too easy. You know we're going to end up having to pull it back out for some stupid, silly reason. But hope not. Hopefully everything works as planned. So get this lowered down. Going right to its home. There it is. Cool. That mess is over. That out of the way. Hoist out of the way. Come on. Yeah. All right. My block's out of here. Man, that's nice, Ranger. Yeah. We got so much more room for activities here now. Look at all this. Yay. Yay. Now we just got to lean over this the whole time. I'll end up having red marks across my gut and my chest tonight from leaning over this radiator support. Oh, by the way, speaking of radiator, I did some digging and found a fan shroud I believe will work. I hope it does anyway. But always got to have a fan shroud to help maximum cooling. And I've got a factory style fan. It's like a straight flex fan, no clutch. I am not a fan of electric fans. I don't know if I've said this before on here or not, but if you have a clutch or a regular fixed blade fan and a shroud, it works so much better than electric fans. I've never had good luck out of electric fans. Everything always runs hot, usually in the summertime. But anyway, I'm going to get some more bolts in, get the motor mount stud nuts on there, bell housing, and we'll go from there. You guys don't want to watch that. That's boring stuff. I can let you watch Ranger walk around like a moron. What? You got your ball? Yep. You got his ball. Yep. Yep. We're still battling with the snow outside. It's melting and freezing, and it's hard for him to run and catch the ball and everything. It's hard on his feet, I can imagine. All right, we'll see. You guys get down here with me. Take a look at what I'm seeing down here. Get my light. All right. You can see the header collector is in a fairly decent spot on the passenger side. The only thing that's going to kind of be in my way is this cross member right here. We'll have to wiggle around that a little bit. The driver's side, beautiful. That'll come right down through here, real nice. And then what I was worried about on this oil pan, the rear sump right here, was just hanging down too low, getting to the steering linkage. But as you can see, we have plenty of room, and even, oh, that is loose. That is not good. We'll have to address that. No, we'll forget. The drain plug is in a fairly decent spot, where the factory one laid right up here on the cross member. That's good engineering. And then the one on the front, it clears pretty good. It's got a drain plug on that front sump. It comes out the front past the cross member, so that works out pretty good. But I've got the nuts on the motor mount studs and torque converter nuts on, bell housing bolts all in, so we're good to go down here for now. The only other thing we'll need to do is put the starter in, but I need to doll it up a little bit. Let me scoot out of here. All right, guys, I've been busting ass for the last couple hours, getting everything together to try to get this thing to make a little noise and fire. Carburetor's on. I'm still waiting for my square bore to spread bore adapter, but I do have another adapter plate underneath there. It's a thin one instead of the spacer. So that'll work for now. Got everything, vacuum lines capped off. Spark plug wires, got those ran. I'm not going to run these. These are just for testing purposes. I thought they might be okay, but after messing with them, they're not very good. Like this one, number 6, it won't always stay clipped down, and one of them's got a cut in it. Anyway, had to make a new ground cable and a new starter cable going from the solenoid down to the starter. Put the starter in, got battery in. I did make sure that it cranked, just bumped it. But I do have the coil on, the ignition's on. So I think I'm gonna put a little gas down it, see if it'll at least bump over and do something. Ranger's all excited, running around, ain't she? He's waiting for his mommy to get home. All right, put a little gas down it. A little gas in the throat. Don't know if it's sparking or not. I got power to the coil. I've got one of them spark plug wire deals. We'll see if this works. All right, let me get this plugged in here. Well, didn't have spark, but if you guys remember, whenever I got this truck running over at the barn, when we pulled it out behind the barn, the ignition switch had a spot in it where it would run while you cranked, but not after you let off the key. So we're still dealing with that, but I think I've got it. I went in there and wiggled around on the key for a second. She barked off. I'm happy. Let me put a little bit down the float bowl, or the vent tubes, yeah. Let me put a little bit down the vent tube and we'll try. All right, I put a little bit in the vent down the carburetor. We're gonna have to put a different positive lead on this thing too. That one ain't very good. Little fire out of the exhaust on that one. If I run it too much, I'm gonna have transmission fluid all over my feet and my legs. The lines are open. So let me run a loop of line or something there, so it doesn't get everywhere. All right, got transmission line on. Put a little more fuel in it. See what it'll do now. Oh, there it went. Never mind. I knew I was gonna need it. Son of a bitch fell right off. Ah, I hate them things. Let me get a thermal in. luckily I have one sitting around. Fumble around with this. Shouldn't take but a minute. That's one bad thing about those pre-made cables you buy. Your end is soldered in there, I guess. And after a while, them things get weak. Fall off just like this one did. This cable's kind of old, hard. But it'll work for now. Probably be on here forever. Get in there. Ram that home. Wish I had my impact set up. Be the smart thing to do. Zip it right down. Nope. Do it with a wrench. Take 10 minutes. That might work a little bit better. There. Let's try this. Just a little loud. Is the timing off that far? Yep. Needs advance. And this high-rise intake, that damn distributor clip hits it on the back. So you can't turn it. That's what I'm fiddling with now. There, let's try that. Let's try that. Well, it does the thing. She's loud. Straight hitters. Get in the hole. There you go. Get it all down the front of the carburetor. That's how we start garage fires. Try her again. Well, there you have it. It has went from sitting in a barn yesterday to sitting in a truck running. Kind of. Sounds like it's missing on a couple holes. Still may need to fiddle with the timing. It's probably off a little bit, but it does run. I adjusted on the rockers a little bit more on the valves. Hopefully that's right. We probably need new wires. Like I say, one of them was kind of cut and it may be working on something, but I think once we get once we get new wires on it, routed a little bit cleaner, and fuel system hooked up. Yeah, she's leaking a little oil out of that sending unit. Anyway, I think we'll figure out, once we get it running, we'll figure out which hole is dead, and it may clear itself up. But we still may have a vacuum leak somewhere, I don't know. But for now, I'm happy with progress, and we'll get the radiator, fan, and all that stuff in here, charging whirler hooked up, so we can let it sit here and run. Get some water in it. Power steering pump hooked up, get the belts figured out, and we'll go on to the next thing, which will be brakes. They're all bad. Need a booster and a master cylinder and all the wheel cylinders, drums, hardware, calipers, lines, pads, rotors. Yep. But we're this far. So anyway, appreciate you guys watching, and hope you come back and watch some more. It's gonna be it for this episode. We got her running, and I've got supper cooking inside. Ranger's ready to go play some more ball, and I'm ready to go sit down for a little bit. I've been out here probably 12 hours a day, but I wanted to hear this thing run and create a little smoke in this garage. And I need to pull old Blue in here. It's been sitting outside for 2 nights in a row, and I don't ever let it sit outside, but it's nice having a little extra room in here. But anyway, thanks guys for watching, and like, subscribe, comment, something. We'll see you next time.